The hosts of the show Outnumbered on Fox News are going to come out swinging against a living wage.
A big change coming to some of New York City's top restaurants that could have a major change on dining far beyond this city. Danny Meyer, the restaurant impresario behind the very popular Shake Shack burger empire, saying he's going to eliminate tipping at all 13 of his full-service dining establishments in the Big Apple, which includes some high-profile restaurants. Many of them Harris has eaten at. According to one industry, I'm just joking.
I do love fries.
One industry observer saying this is the first time zero gratuity will be the universal policy for a major American restaurant group. Of course, this means higher wages for servers and higher menu prices for you. Meyer saying he's doing this to remain competitive. All right, I have a lot of chef friends at the James Beard award-winning level. Everybody's talking about this, but it's not just the chefs and the restaurant chains talking about this. At the consumer level, we will face higher prices. I mean, this is just his restaurant chain starting. What do you think about this?
I like being able to slap down a fat tip to impress the waitress. Don't take that away from me. I like to be able to show off a little bit. But I mean, listen, when you go to Europe, the service is terrible because there's no tipping and they don't have any motivation to hustle.
So this is a good point.
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. You work for tips.
Jesse's like waving a $5 around. He's like, hey, you know what? This could all be yours for the rate of like a strip club. 20. Oh, I don't want to make you cheap. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
You know what? I do have a problem with raising the prices. You and I just yesterday were talking about Walmart and how they're hurting because they've raised their prices. I mean, look at what's going on with them. Not their prices, but their wages. And then in order to pay for that, they've got to raise prices. So if the food is fabulous, but the service is awful, I'm not going there.
Yeah, that's great. So first, let's do some basic fact checks here. When she says, well, you know, Walmart is hurting because they raised their prices by pennies on the dollar. Absolute nonsense. Total bullshit. In fact, we've known this for a very long time now, that when the economy is doing really poorly, so if there's like a recession going on, Walmart does really well, because when people don't have that much money, they'll go to Walmart. But when the economy rebounds and is doing better, less people go to Walmart, because they have more money, so they don't need to just shop at Walmart. And that's what we're seeing right now. The economy has many systemic, fundamental problems that we talk about all the time, but there's no denying that we're in a better spot now than we were in 2009 and 2010 with the Bush crash and the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession. So that explains that. And guys, what we're talking about here is to pay people a living wage. A living wage. All you have to do is increase prices, pennies on the dollar. And you honestly don't even need to do that. I mean, you can keep prices the same and pay people a living wage for a place like Walmart, and you just make slightly less profit. But, of course, they don't do that because padding the bottom line is really all that matters to them. So, even when or if they raise wages from time to time, rarely, it's, okay, well, whatever, we'll add 3 cents onto a given product. So, just utter nonsense. And then, look at this. This is a panel that has at other times lectured everybody about Christianity, about how much they love Jesus. And they're like, you know, I don't want the peasant class to get lazy. They better fucking run to get my drink for me. So, yeah, I don't want to pay them a living wage. Think about this, man. If you ask one of those hosts, this is Fox News, you ask them, hey, if somebody works a full-time job, should they make a living wage? They would answer no. They basically just did. So then you guys are advocating for wage slavery. You're fine with some people working a full-time job not making enough money to survive. Okay, you're just a callous prick if that's what you believe in. You're just not a deep thinker, and also you're fundamentally incapable of putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, where you realize this isn't right, man. Not everybody's going to get the promotion. Some people could work very hard and still make minimum wage. And the question just becomes, well, okay, are we going to pay enough money for people to survive? And they answer no. Unreal. So I wish that we could do this experiment. How about you guys work for tips? How about that's the way we do it? We'll set up whatever, Patreon accounts or PayPal accounts for all you guys, and then people can just donate for when they think you make a good point, and the people at Fox News, they won't pay you anymore. They'll just say, you're independent contractors, but you guys work for tips. I wonder how quickly they'd change their mind on this. I can't even live on this. Exactly. That was our fucking point. But when it was just, waiters and waitresses and the peasant class, fuck them. They're not me. Who cares? And these are the people who think that they're more moral, which is so sad. And in conclusion, let me just say this. It was painful to watch that for another reason. Jesse Waters and his corniness level and his smug level, and the fact that there were women on the panel who clearly want to fuck Jesse Waters. That says all you need to know about Fox News.